Hey guys, so today we have a video about someone who thinks bullying is necessary on TikTok, and she willingly posted that video. Now, this video has been scrubbed off the internet, including everything else, because she wasn't a massive influencer, so it was pretty easy for her to kind of go under the radar. The video was on like a substantial amount of views. Yeah, so it's just been very interesting. So there is a girl on TikTok with about 10,000 followers. Now, I don't know how many she had before she posted that video, because obviously she must have gained some of sheer like interest. She was essentially called out by someone for being a mean girl in school. Apparently someone left a comment, or someone said something about her where they were like, oh, glad to see that you're still the same mean girl that you were in school. And she felt it in her heart, in her soul, to respond. And it went about as well as you can imagine, unless you've like really changed. Now, before I get into everything, subscribe with the bell icon for engagement, and let's just get into this topic. I personally have a mixed opinion. I'm going to preface it with that. I feel like everyone's got a different opinion, and that's why, you know, when someone blows up on the internet, we see people scouring through to find tweets from 2012. And I used to be the kind of person who also were like, oh, what were you doing in 2012? Because I think that's like an easy slam dunk. Like, I feel like everyone's said or done something in the past, and it's just so easy to be like, well, in 2012 you said this. And I feel like sometimes people don't change, and it also really depends on not even really the time, you know, difference, but kind of like if something happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I feel like we have to look at the climate of that time more so than like the climate now and how this sits in the current climate, because I feel like, you know, but sometimes if you were like 30 already, you kind of know right from wrong, right? So then it's kind of difficult to justify that, because if it was 10 years ago and you were 30 back then, you were an adult. You're kind of less influenced to just go with what everyone else is saying. However, there is still obviously a difference of like, that was the current climate, this is the climate now, whatever, right? Sometimes someone was like 10. And at that point, I do find it quite difficult to criticize someone anymore. I feel like in the past, I would have just absolutely not cared how old they were in the past, what they were doing. Since then, I feel like I've loosened up that, and I use old tweets less in my videos unless it's actually kind of valid to the conversation, because I do find it a little bit unnecessary and a little bit like, what is this really proving? That they were saying something 10 years ago? Like, it's just kind of a bit difficult. So even when I was talking about Michaela Aguero, it was enough for me what she is doing now. Right, that was enough for me. So it's like, what is she doing now? Or like, the only thing that mattered that she was doing back then was like, she's lying about her accent now, and I know that because 5 years ago when she was at uni, her accent was different. Your accent can't change that quickly, mainly since she's lived in the same area. So that to me is something valid. That's like, okay, that makes sense for calling out. But like, someone on Reddit posted that she was mean in school when she was like 14. I don't know. I have mixed reactions about that. So I tried not to talk about that too much, because then I was like, maybe she has changed. But then again, she's not a very nice person now. So it kind of shows that she has been like that for a while. So I think there is some kind of back and forth with like how this links to present day. This person though, we can see they have not changed. So someone said, I'm glad to see that you're still the same mean girl that you were back in school. Apparently she was a bully, and she posted a response, and that response was kind of interesting, so I'm just gonna like live react to it. The only thing is, like I said, she did delete this video, and the only re-upload, like a full re-upload of the video, because there was some which was just like a stitch, or someone kind of only reacted to like a segment of it. So the only full is, one, really bad quality, and two, it flips, like it switches between a parody and the original. So you guys are gonna have to just bear with me, but this is the only way I was able to get it, like get the whole thing. So it starts with, she's doing like a get ready with me as well. She's a great, like, nothing good happens when you're addressing hate or like talking about something serious while doing your makeup. I think that's not, no.
I was a mean girl in high school. Let's talk about it. There was a comment someone made, and it basically said something to the effect of, I'm so glad to see that I'm still the same mean girl that she was in high school. This comment is so silly goose. It made me
so silly goose. It's like, that's not really silly goose, that's probably someone that you bullied in school. So it's not really silly goose. The thing is, I feel like everyone, I know this is just me speaking as an adult now, maybe I just don't remember, because the thing is, I feel like I've been bullied, but also maybe bullied. Like, I don't know, but also what constitutes bullying? I feel like people have been mean to me, I've been mean to people. I never like relentlessly bullied someone as far as I'm concerned. But it's like, I've definitely said something mean. So if someone comes out and is like, oh, Angelika said something really mean to me when she was 14. Yup. Absolutely, I have. Absolutely. I feel like kids are kind of like teens. I'm I'm 24 almost, and I'm terrified when I go somewhere and have to walk past a group of teenagers. I just feel like they're gonna bully me. If like I'm walking funny, or if like my makeup's looking a little bit janky, like I feel like someone's gonna make fun of me. So I just expect that from teenagers, but it just kind of depends on the level, and we should never excuse bullying, right? Like there should never be a time where we're like, bullying is okay, everyone should do that. But we can also address that teenagers are kind of, but that's not the point of the video. She's just like completely skipping past the part of like bullying is bad.
Just start reminiscing about high school. I went to high school over 4 years ago, so it's
also over 4 years ago. I went to high school over 4. That's not a really long amount of time. And if this is still your mindset, regardless of how long ago you were in high school, like your mindset's still the same. So you're probably still a bullying 20-year-old, right? Like that probably hasn't changed. You're probably still very mean. You're just not a high school bully anymore. You're just like a mean adult, which is worse because there's no excuse for that.
Really been a minute. It's kind of crazy to me that someone like even still cares about that.
Someone probably still cares because you were bullying them. That's probably why they care. And the thing is, if you were relentlessly bullied, I don't just mean like someone was mean to you one day. Like I remember people made fun of me for having a YouTube channel back then, and like now it's my job. So I don't know. There's like a bit of comic justice in that, right? And so I feel like if you're like relentlessly bullied and then you see someone that you bullied on TikTok, that probably isn't very nice, and it probably reignites some feelings in you. So that's probably why they still care. It's not like they're still stuck in high school, because if there's like a difference of like someone that peaked in high school and they just, everything is like, oh, in high school I did this, and in high school I did this, and I had so many friends and I was so pretty. It's like, that's someone that peaked in high school. I definitely didn't peak in high school. I was actually having a pretty crap time in high school, and I just feel like I've peaked now. Like my 20s are my peak, you know? That's where I'm feeling really good in myself, and I'm just like enjoying life and living life. But high school definitely wasn't my peak.
I wish I could ask them like what they mean by that, because I wasn't like outwardly mean to just like anyone I went to school with. I was definitely mean to people that like did me dirty, or that like, you know, were rude to me or something.
This is a point where I'm like, I feel like if a whole video was like, I don't feel like I've ever bullied anyone, if I was mean to you, it was probably because you were mean to me in the first place, I feel like that would have been like okay enough, because I get that. In high school, there were just like arguments back and forth, and if someone commented on one of my videos and was like, you were really mean to me, I would have been like, were you mean to me first? Because I feel like there's a lot of like tit for tat in high school, like, oh, someone spreads a rumor about you, you spread a rumor about them, and then they spread a rumor about you, and it's just like, I feel like high school is just like petty, right? So if we're gonna pinpoint every petty thing someone's done, it's probably a tit for tat. If she had just ended it there, that's fine. But then she, spoiler alert, in the Get Ready With Me goes on to say that like bullying is necessary for development. And it's like, okay, so what you're saying is, I wasn't a bully, I was just mean because you were mean to me. But actually, let's talk about bullying. I think bullying's okay. It's like, that's what makes you sound like a bully. And now everyone thinks you're a bully. But if you just kept it to like, I was never mean to someone without reason, we could have kind of tolerated that. But it's just you saying like, I was always mean to someone, they were mean to me. However, let me justify bullying to you for a minute. It's like, that's what is not very fun and fresh.
I don't know. I didn't really care about people when I was in high school. I'm just busy doing my own thing and dealing with my own stuff. I had a lot going on when I was that age. Yeah. I really wish that I could have commented, or I could have like seen who they were, so I would like know more of the story. Basically, my high school life was very strange. I was pretty smart, like I am pretty smart. So
That's completely fine. That's also a very valid statement to make if she had just made a separate TikTok being like, I was pretty smart in high school, and I think I'm like still really smart now. People still have an issue with it, but I feel like on its own, but it's just like in this video she's like, I was very smart, I'm still very smart. I just had a lot going on in high school, and if I was mean to you, I don't care.
In a lot of the like higher academic classes, but I wasn't friends with any of the kids in those classes, so I always felt kind of like out of the loop. I never just got along with any of those kids, and they never really like.
It also just annoys me how much she's been zhuzhing her hair but like doing absolutely nothing with it. She made like a middle part to then immediately just make a side part, and now she's just like touching it. In fact, that's what happens when people do Get Ready With Me while also telling a story. A lot of people can do it and they're very good at it. Some people, like this girly here, kind of suck at it, and it's just like she's just, for the last a minute, she's been doing nothing productive. She like brushed her hair, which was great, but she like middle parted it, and then she immediately ruined that, and then she's just been middle parting it, and now she's just touching it, and it's just like, okay, how about you just sit down and make a video then?
Made an effort to hang out with me. Plus, I also have really bad RBF, so that might have had something to do with it. And I can be very like outward spoken, like I'm pretty extroverted, and sometimes I say things before I can think them through, so just putting some oil in my hair.
She thinks this is so quirky. I think there is something to be said about someone sees you succeed and it bothers them, right? So they might make up rumors about you, or they might spread something about you, or they might, whatever, right? We see that all the time. We see people come up with the woodworks. But there are definitely some people that will outwardly try and spread stuff about you, which obviously sucks. I feel like this wasn't really a case of that. This was a case of just someone leaving a comment being like, you're still really mean. So it just makes this whole thing, like, she just thinks it's so quirky and so just like, I'm just like, people are just out to get me now.
Traveled a lot in the past 4 years. I've met a lot of different people, been in a lot of different places, and learned a lot of life lessons. So I don't really think about high school anymore. And if you're still focused on me in high school, then you clearly have no purpose in my life.
So she's like, I've done so much since then. I mean, those 4 years I've traveled, I've learned. And if you're still focusing on high school, like, you have no place in my life. And it's like, maybe some people weren't able to move on from high school and move on mentally from high school because you ruined their high school experience. I feel like a lot of people have a really negative high school experience. Mine was like mid. I felt like for times it was fun and like I had a lot of friends, and like at times I didn't. And at times people really made fun of me because of my YouTube channel. I had a YouTube channel when I was like 10 upwards, like maybe 11, 12, and I would like revive it every few months. And it was like, I wish I had it. I deleted it because I was getting bullied for it. But yeah, people just didn't want to see me succeed back then. I feel like watching YouTube back then was cringy in itself. Like, mainly in London, not many people were watching YouTube like that, like religiously. I feel like back then it was just like music videos and Vivo. But I was watching all of it. I was watching all the American YouTubers. I like dreamed of being an American high school as if that was gonna save me. Yeah, and I feel like I definitely was not cool for having a YouTube channel. That definitely didn't make me a cool person. I feel like since then, like the moment people found out about my YouTube channel, it just tanked from there. And the reason why people like spread that I had a YouTube channel is because a girl made up a rumor that I talked shit about her, and I didn't. So to this day, I stand by the fact that I didn't. And then yeah, that was the whole thing. So I feel like that was the breaking point of my high school career. But now I actually have a YouTube channel and it actually functions. So back then it wasn't functioning. I think I had like 100 subs and that was so slay for me. But now it actually functions as a job, and it's been functioning as a job since I was 18, which is actually a really long time. I don't know how I've managed it this long. I literally started my channel when I was 18, pretty much. Like I turned 18 in April. In June I started my channel, so I was like pretty much 18 and I'm about to turn 24. I've had my channel for like 5.5 years.
Y'all must be chronically online and need to like get a life. Go travel.
Go travel. I don't mean to make it a this problem, because I feel like I hate when someone says something, because I feel like I've said things in the past and then someone makes it a whole other issue and it's like a cancelable offense, and I'm like, I did not even think about that. And maybe that's a cancelable offense in itself, like not thinking about how that could link to that. But like, not everything is said maliciously, but like, not everyone can afford to travel. And we're actually in an economic crisis and people can't afford rent. So you think people can afford to travel? And also traveling doesn't just make you a nice person. Traveling just means you have money to travel. That's all that means.
Talk to people, go make money, y'all.
There she goes, go make money. As if that, once again, makes you a nice person, because it doesn't.
I have a hot take on this. I think bullying is something that has to happen when you're young. Something from like an evolutionary or like biological standpoint.
Now, I'm not agreeing with her at all. Did did people being mean to me make me more resilient? Maybe. Like, maybe I was like, okay, well, I've already been made fun of for my channel, like, let me just do it again. Let me just do it again. What's the worst that can happen? Nothing bad happened, here I am. But is it necessary? No. Like, would life function and the planet spin and like water flow if bullying didn't exist? Absolutely. I actually think the planet would be a much nicer place.
It's not this way, and I will probably continue to think this way. If you're someone who's being bullied, you kind of like to learn to stick up for yourself, or like learn to have more confidence in yourself. Bullying in America, or like the Mean Girls of America, bruh, it's really not that bad. Y'all ever seen K-dramas? Y'all know what happens in other countries, what bullies are like. American teenagers have gotten so soft these days because of social media. Literally anything offends people and makes people be like, I'm being bullied. I feel like if you are being bullied, it's gonna help you grow up and be a stronger person, have your foot in life because of your experience. Unless you dwell on it for 4 years after high school.
Dwell on it, and you're just dwelling on it. You should just be more confident. Like, it's good for you. And that's just like really low emotional intelligence, to not understand how bullying affects people's confidence, how bullying isn't just like stand up for yourself. Because what if like the whole school's bullying you? And then what do? Do you stand up to each and every one of them? It's like sometimes it's not as simple as that. And then the idea of like travel, it'll make you a better person. Make money. You can tell she's also very young, which makes me feel a little bit bad because I'm 24. She left high school 4 years ago. She's probably about 20 now, 19, 20 maybe. And I'm like, I feel bad, because I feel like she'll just, like, your 20s are a really pivotal time in your life. You actually end up learning quite a lot and quite quickly, so you change from year to year, literally. And then I feel like as you get older, you change kind of less and less. So I feel like that 20s period is really, pretty much like week to week, I'm like, I don't know who that was a week ago. So I feel like she'll change a lot and maybe she'll learn a lot in that time. But right now, she is just very immature. Just make money. Make money, travel. Like, if it's hard,
then that's just kind of sad. And then if you are someone that's bullying people, you never know what's going on in someone's life. Don't take it too personally. If someone's bullying you, they probably have some...
Don't take it too seriously.
Honestly, those people probably have some things that they need to work on themselves. Maybe that's all they know. But it's going to teach them, too, how to treat people. A lot of people that are bullies do end up having, like, higher social growth in life. I feel like there's some psychological backing to this stuff. I mean, I'm not saying, like, go out and be mean to people. It's just something that naturally happens.
When she said they have, like, a higher social whatever, she was even trying to name it, she didn't even know what it was called, whatever. Is what she's saying that bullies end up being really successful? And is that because most CEOs are narcissists? Like, or sociopaths, I think it was. There was something about, I think, like, a majority of CEOs are sociopaths in some capacity. And it's like, those were probably people that were bullying people in high school. So yeah, you might be more successful if you're mean to people, because it means you can, like, trample on people, you don't mind backstabbing, you're not very loyal, you don't really care about the planet or people in a way that, like, let's say the CEO of, like, a massive corporation might not care. And that helps you be successful in that field. But it's like, is that a good person?
And that kind of has to happen. It's giving, like, evolution theories and biological things. But if you're still dwelling on that from 5 years ago... Now, I'll be real with y'all, I don't talk to anyone from high school. Sometimes I'll reach out every now and then if, like, something comes up. Definitely, like, I'm not friends with anyone from high school. I don't plan on, like, mending any friendships from there. I went to a pretty small school in a very, like, tiny town compared to where I am now. Literally have no interest in befriending or, like, rekindling any relationships with those people. Only one person I talked to that I knew in high school, he didn't even go to my high school, happened to be friends after. High school doesn't matter at all. You're 22, you really need to, like, get a grip and focus on, like, your priorities in life rather than, like, dwelling on the past, which is crazy to me. Now that I'm at, like, 11,000 followers.
Once again, I'm also not shitting on anyone 10 or 11,000 followers. It's like, does she think she's so much better? Like, is this the new Alex Earl that we're seeing in front of our eyes? Is that what this is? And it's like, I also don't want to rekindle friendships with people in high school. I also don't, and they probably don't want to rekindle friendships with me. So this is like a two-way street. But I feel like there's just like a time and a place and a way of saying things that doesn't make you sound like this.
Don't have any profile views on, and, like, TikTok basically took that away from me. You just can't see profile views and stuff anymore. Before I hit that number, I would see people from high school watching my stuff. Fine, because, like, every now and then I'd watch their stuff too, and they thing where TikTok's like, are you interested in this profile? It always made me giggle when I would see people from my school watching my stuff. It's so crazy. All of the story, if you're being bullied in high school or you are a bully in high school, y'all, it's so overrated.
If you're being bullied in high school or you're a bully in high school, it's so overrated. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know what that means. I can't even comment on that because I don't know what she means by that.
Is literally meaningless. I haven't used anything from high school in my life since I left. And I don't.
There's also something about these people, one, just the lack of self-awareness, but also the lack of, like, well, I didn't use anything from high school, so high school must just be really useless. And it's like a lot of people use things that they learn in high school because they end up, like, going to uni or needing it in some capacity. And I feel like I got the same vibe from Jake Paul, who I also imagine would have maybe been a bully. He gives me those vibes where he was like, they didn't teach me shit in high school. They didn't teach me how to buy a Lamborghini. It's like, not everyone's going to buy a Lamborghini, and some people actually need what they learn in high school. So I get that's not for everyone, but I feel like there's a type of person who is like this and just lack of self-awareness or just awareness.
Plan on rekindling any relationships from high school, and I don't plan on going to any of the reunions. Those people literally mean zero to me now. and all of the things that happened in high school literally mean this to me now. Because I've had so many experiences and because I've learned so much from the 4 years I've had outside of high school. If you're still like reminiscing about high school and you're still hurt by something I said or did to you, I'm sorry. I probably don't remember it anyway. And you should probably get outside more.
Okay, well, that was really interesting. She has since posted an apology video saying that people are reaching out to her workplace and that she's being bullied on TikTok, and her account is now private because she couldn't handle people being mean to her. And it's kind of like, bear in mind, this is a character now that I'm playing. Don't take anything from this point onwards seriously. But if you're dwelling on comments that people are leaving on TikTok, maybe you should find a life outside of TikTok. Maybe you should travel and make some money, and then you won't care about people bullying you and being mean to you on TikTok. And it might actually be really nice for you. It might teach you resilience and confidence, and you might learn how to stand up for yourself. Yeah, this was an interesting take, and this was how her career started. Like, it took off and it nosedived. So I hope her workplace doesn't do anything about this, because then she'll have to maybe go to some high school reunions or something, I don't know, or she'll move back to her hometown, and this is her legacy now in her hometown. So let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know if you guys have been bullied, or have you been a bully, or what do you think about bullying. I think it's just such an interesting topic because I feel like we change so much, but some people just simply don't. And that's the problem. Like, I don't recognize who I even was when I was 15. I was like, actually, I was going through it, and I feel like everyone was going through it a little bit. That was like a rough time. And I was not perfect. No one was perfect. I laugh to this day about people making fun of me for my YouTube channel. Like, it's fine. I literally couldn't care less. But I also think I was definitely mean to someone else, and I feel like people were mean to me. I was mean to people. It's fine. But I think there's a time that you have to understand things and have empathy and compassion, and I feel like that's what she's lacking, because I feel like if I was ever mean to someone, I obviously don't mean that now, and I'm sure the people who are making fun of me, maybe they also think like, oh darn, that was kind of not cool to do, you know. And I feel like we've hopefully learned from that experience and become better people, but I feel like some people haven't and some people won't. That person right there. Anyway, let me know how this relates to your life and what you felt watching this TikTok with me. And yeah, subscribe to the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.